You're welcome to today's class. Today we want to look at interactive addition, still on the two incarnation of main function. The last class I showed you the command line argument supplied to the main function. Today's class I'm going to show you how to perform the same addition, but this time around at runtime, supplying the parameters. So without wasting much time, I will do include stdio.h standard library for my what? For my print function, and this time around I will also use the scanf. So int main. So this time I'm using this main function, which is what I've been using regularly. So this one is not expecting parameter to be supplied at compile time. So here I'm going to supply three parameters. One, I will need three variables. So int, the first variable is what? Num. I will call it num1. Because I have these three variables as integer, so I'll just declare them on the same line. Num2, and then sum. So I want to add two numbers. So I want to say 5 plus 8 equals to what? 13. So I will need a variable to store this 5. I will need a variable to store this 8. And then I will need a variable to what? Store this 13. That is what I want to achieve. So I have this first variable that will store the first number. This one will store the second number. And this sum will store the addition. Okay. So the next thing I will do is I want the user to supply the variable when the program runs. So when you execute the program, it will print out, enter the first number. So I will call my print function, printf. Then I'll print out, enter the first number. I'll give it space, then I'll close it, and then I'll close this. Now, when I enter that first number into this place, another function will receive it, scanf. Scanf will receive it. So %d, comma, where will it store it? It will store it in the address of this guy, this variable. So address of num1. Then I will say printf to enter the second number. Enter the second number. I will give it space. Then scanf will take it again. Scanf will take it, %d. Then it will store it in the address of what? num2. Then I will now perform my what? My sum. So sum, which means the variable. So I'm saying when you, this value, num1 plus num2, whatever the value is, store it in this variable, sum. Then printf, I'll print out the sum of the first number, so %d, and the second number, another %d, because they are integers. The sum of this and this is another percentage what? D. Okay, so I can give it /n for a new line. So for this first argument, I will supply what? It should be there. So I'll supply num1. For this second argument, I'll supply num2. And then for this third expression, I'll supply sum. So I will close it. Then I will say return. So my program is done. So I'm returning to the operating system to tell the operating system that I'm done. So this, I will close it. So this is my program. It's interactive. So this is what you call free will. right? But even the predestinated one, there was also a free will, but the parameters were supplied at compile time, that is before, not before runtime. The parameters were supplied before runtime, and there were predestinated parameters given to execute your function. But in this case, it is at runtime. The program has started execution, so waiting for you to respond. If you don't respond, it will not continue. Now, both have choices, meaning I can decide to supply 5 plus 8 for my program to run, or I can supply 1 million plus 2 million to give me what? 3 million as the output. But if I supply 1 million plus 2 million plus 3 million, right, the function will not run. It will not run. So when you say a man is contented, what it simply means is that the man understands the function, that is his program. Then, based on that knowledge, knows the parameter that will run that program. So if I know that my program is designed to run addition of just 2 numbers, then there is no point contending with or contesting with somebody who has 3 numbers. Because even if I take the 3 numbers and I supply it to my function, it will not run. I was designed to run just 2. So the choices that I will make will now depend on the values of the 2 numbers that I'm going to supply to my function to execute. So my concept of teaching you manifestation in reality using programming as a guide is to make you understand that every manifestation that you see, both in life or in program, is actually parameters that you supply to an existing function to execute. So you are not rewriting the function. So if you want to actually change the quantity of the parameters that are going to supply, it means you now need to go back to the source code and completely change your program. Otherwise, it will always be what? Error that you'll be seeing. And this error will now be what? The problem or the troubles that you see manifesting. So that shows you are misaligned from your true purpose. That is what I'm trying to achieve. So if you have people that were living their life in a particular way and you want to change the status quo, then you must access the source code to first change the source code before you change the parameters. Otherwise, it will just be running in error. Every time you put in the parameters, it will give you error as an output. So that is what I want to demonstrate, and that is what I've been trying to get you to understand, that there is a source code and then parameters that you supply to the source code to enable the program to execute. So let's go to code blocks. Let me show you how to run this. This is interactive, unlike the predestinated one that was embedded, right? So let's go to code block and let's see this. Okay, so this is our program that will be interactive addition. So the argument will be given at runtime. That's why I'm naming it runtime argument. So let's execute this program and let's see. I've explained all this on the board. So let's just execute it and see what the output will be. So I click on this. So you see the first thing, see, enter first number. So that is what it's showing you. Enter first number. So I'm going to supply 5. Then when I press enter, it's asking me enter second number because it has already stored that 5 in the location of number 1, right? Then I'm going to enter 8. Then when I press enter now on my keyboard, it will just print out. It will print out the sum of 5 and 8. It will give me the value. So when I press enter, you see, the sum of 5 and 8 is 13. But it's so fast that you do not know that was exactly what it did. So what it did is what I explained to you on the board. So now, if I execute this program again, it will ask me for first number. I put 100. Press enter. Second number, I put 200. enter, it will print out 300. So as long as I supply two parameters to this function, it is going to execute. That's the concept of free will and choice. So you are choosing from whatever variable that is applicable to you, but it must be the quantity that is required for your program to run. Otherwise, the program will not run. Right? If I supply only one parameter, it will be there just waiting for me to enter the second one. So that is the concept of what I'm trying to make you see. So till we see in the next class, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Bye-bye.